welcome back to the channel. We're confronted with a story that encapsulates so many of the fault lines in modern Britain. Borders that feel porous, justice that seems selective, and a debate over national security that too often gets clouded by politics rather than just plain common sense. According to texts obtained and reported by LBC, 26-year-old Shamina Begum, a British-born woman who left London as a teenager to join ISIS, may be plotting to use people smugglers to get back to the United Kingdom. Begum fled Britain at just 15 years old to travel to Syria and join the Islamic State, a group responsible for some of the worst atrocities of this century. Her decision to abandon her life here and align with a terror organisation was not an act of confusion alone. It was a conscious choice with grave consequences. In 2019, her British citizenship was stripped on grounds of national security, a decision upheld through numerous legal challenges. Now, new messages from inside the Al-Roj detention camp appear to show that Begum and her fellow former jihadi, Hoda Mathana, have been communicating plans to escape their detention and pay smugglers to get them out of Syria. In coded language, they allegedly asked the filmmaker to bring them cash, or gummies, for US dollar and mints for British pounds, to pay those smugglers, who, if successful, would take them towards the Turkish border with the goal of reaching embassies. That's not desperation, that's leverage. If they can make it into Turkey and reach UK diplomatic premises, they seem to believe Britain would be compelled to act and ultimately repatriate them. That is a strategic assumption, not a plea for mercy. Now, let's put this into stark terms. People smugglers are criminal networks. They thrive on illegal movement, exploitation and loopholes in the system. They are not a charity, they're organised crime. To even entertain the notion that someone linked to a terrorist organisation and whose citizenship was removed on security concerns might use those networks to return and then negotiate their way back into Britain should alarm every citizen. The filmmaker in question reportedly refused to assist and instead handed their messages to MI5 and his local MP. That action alone signals that the content was taken seriously. Yet what concerns many is the sense that our establishment still lacks clarity on how far it will go to prevent such a scenario, and what it will do if the attempt was successful. There have even been warnings from those inside the camp about Begum possibly reaching Britain by small boat across the Channel, a chilling echo of the very crisis ministers have spent years trying to stem. Calls from senior figures inside the Home Office have been unequivocal. The government must make clear that Shamina Begum will not be allowed back under any circumstances and must ensure any smuggling attempts fail. Now, that's not hardline politics, that's basic sovereignty and the primary duty of any state: protect its citizens from threats, not potentially import them back via channels. Meanwhile, voices calling for a return simply to face justice, as Lord Dubs has advocated, miss a fundamental point. Justice isn't served merely by repatriation, and a trial where the state's own security mechanisms judged her too dangerous to allow back in the first place. The debate over human rights and repatriation policy is complex, and there are independent reviews arguing for bringing British-linked detainees home. But allowing routes around immigration controls via criminal networks undermines both national security and the rule of law. The question now isn't simply whether camps are safe or whether conditions are tolerable, it is whether Britain will enforce its decision when someone actively seeks to exploit smugglers and diplomatic loopholes to return. And if it cannot, what message does that send to every other would-be extremist and every criminal network watching from the sidelines? Now, it will be interesting to see how this turns out because this story really irritates me. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want more honest political commentary and don't want to miss what's really happening behind the headlines, hit that subscribe button and drop your thoughts in the comments below.